Hello, my name is Chris Ann.
Hello, my name is Fletch.
Today we're discussing what challenges there are and how to overcome them.
Am I? I don't know yet.
What barriers have you been shocked to have to overcome as a deaf or hard of hearing person?
Well, I went deaf when I was 15, and my school were able to provide me with a sign language interpreter, but they couldn't do sign language classes. So I had no way of learning sign language at all. I was kind of just shocked by the complete absence of that.
I grew up loving music. I enjoyed it at school. At secondary school, I was sat there joining in. I'm in music lesson, I sat there. And the teacher came over and asked where my communication support was and said, sorry, you have to leave the classroom. I asked why. They said, because you're deaf. And I was like, but I love music. They said, no, out, you're finished with music class, finished. So when I grew up, I went to college. I went and expressed an interest in music. I said I wanted to be a drummer. They said, you can't because you're deaf. I ignored them and kept going. I practiced my sign singing along to music. I just kept going, and now I'm still singing because I ignored all the people who said I can't do it. And it's a success because I kept going, because I knew I could do it.
So if you're deaf or hard of hearing and you go to a hearing school, if you have barriers and problems there, what can you do to fix it?
Yeah, I went to a mainstream hearing school. It had a deaf unit. But it could still be stressful because my teachers didn't have any deaf awareness. Hearing children would bully me because they didn't really understand deafness. There were lots of problems back then at my school. In the future, hopefully deaf awareness will improve and sign language will be included in GCSEs.
Wow. And you?
For me, going deaf was quite slow. It took about 3 years. For a long, long time, my teachers were all just thinking that I couldn't pay attention, that I was just sort of ignoring what was going on. And so they sit me at the front of the class and they would sort of criticise me a lot and really tell me off. And I was trying so hard to pay attention, and nobody thought to check my hearing, that maybe it was that rather than something else.
So lots of deaf people have been bullied. Can you give them some helpful advice?
I think it's very hard to give advice to the people who are being bullied because it's not about that person. It's about the bully themselves. And so I think they're the person that we need to give the advice to, that they need to have a better awareness that, different people have different needs and it doesn't make them any lesser of a person just because they're different.
I agree with you. Bullying is their problem. The person who is bullying you. We need to help them, you're right. So for example, you could suggest they call Childline, or speak to a counsellor, or you could go and tell a teacher. Don't keep it bottled up inside. Tell someone. Someone should come to the school and teach deaf awareness and how to include deaf people and say that there is nothing wrong with being deaf. Be inclusive and give positive information, then things can improve.
You're right, that's important. If a deaf or hard of hearing person has an ambition for their future, how can they overcome? How can you break out and show people that being deaf doesn't stop you from having a future?
My deafness is because of a much wider illness that I have. So I find that stops me a lot more. I've got a muscle condition and a nerve condition, so I can't move my hands properly. I'm really sort of tired all the time, and I have to face all these other problems on top of deafness, which is annoying. But I would say that the absolute best thing, something I really struggled with when I was younger, was measuring myself against other people, because it's never going to be helpful. It's never a good idea to look at someone else and think, oh, but they've done this already. They've already got this degree. They've gone to university and I've got to wait and, retake this class or something. You've got to set yourself your own goals. As long as you're achieving what you want to achieve and not looking at other people, you're always going to have that self-confidence.
Wow.
Like I said earlier, I love music. And the teachers said you can't do it, and college told me I couldn't do it. At home I kept doing sign singing and ignoring them. I kept going as I grew up, and I have performed in the deaf community. And also with hearing people. I've worked with interpreters, communication support workers, communicating with and signing with people with level 1, 2 and 3. And as I've kept going, word has got out. People come to see me and think it's amazing I can be deaf and do music. It's had a real impact, saying, wow, people can do this. You can do anything if you have a dream. Go for it, do it. Don't be passive and let things pass you by. Do it.
That's very powerful, thank you.
For 1 year, I was off with depression because people didn't believe in me. Everything changed and went downhill. Things picked back up when the Prince's Trust helped me. Picking me up and getting me back into it again. I got my business up and running and engaged with people, and things improved again.
If something has happened to you that's made you feel bad or thrown you off balance, or you're worried about anything difficult or hard you're facing, tell someone. Please feel free to get help to sort things out. Childline now have a service for the deaf that can help you. If you have a computer or laptop with a webcam, you can use sign video. A screen will come up with an interpreter on it. They will communicate with you in BSL. So you can have a conversation with them, talking back and forth. If you prefer to write, that's fine. You can use our web chat. You can have a conversation on either one. What you tell the counsellors is strictly confidential. This means whatever you say, nobody will know you said anything. Thanks for coming.
That's okay, thank you.
I enjoyed having this discussion with you. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.